This next speaker has done a lot of great things, not only co-authored a book, but taken a stage at many mega partnering events, huge stage, talked to thousands of people, and talks about empowering women. And one of the things she's going to talk about, she's in North America's premier women's empowerment authority. So she's touched lives, changed lives, and we're so excited to get her here to the stage.
Welcome one of the top female empowerment in North America, Miss Kathryn Cooper. Come on down. Now, she's done such a good job that I made her a deal. If you accomplish this in 3 months, I will let you introduce Randy Zuckerberg. Now, whose job is it normally to introduce the main event? I never thought she would do it, but she did it. And so now I'm not introducing Randy Zuckerberg. You want to change your mind on that?
No. All right.
Kathryn, come on up. She's been doing a great job emceeing all day. Come on, Kathryn. She introduced Randy. She's going to deal with a question with the women, which every single woman has asked her, and she had the same question. It's an amazing question.
So, Randy, what were your biggest challenges as a female senior executive in such a large and powerful company? And what advice do you have that you'd like to share with the women here?
Who want to go into business, how do you transition from being that women executive to now starting your own business? There's so many women, more and more women are becoming entrepreneurs. So how do you transition from maybe that job security to like, hey, now I'm on my own, which is exactly what you did?
Yeah, it was definitely challenging. It's interesting because I grew up and I started my career in New York in an industry which is actually, there's so many women in the advertising industry. In fact, the CEO of Ogilvy, Shelley Lazarus, is such a woman that everyone looks up to. When I went to Silicon Valley, though, I was very acutely aware of being the only woman in the room most of the time. It wasn't something I had really experienced before. There was only 2 or 3 women at Facebook for a long time. There was most meetings we would go to, people would hear they were meeting with someone named Randy, and then when a woman showed up, you would actually see disappointment on their face. They thought they were meeting with a man. And so that was really interesting to me at first, but I just, I realized, gosh, in this industry, I'm gonna have to work 2 times as hard, or I'm gonna have to be 3 times as good as the men around me to be seen the same, but it will pay off in the end. And the best piece of advice that a mentor ever gave me, I was in a meeting early on in my career, and it was a meeting with Tony Blair, and I was so outclassed. I felt like I didn't have anything to say. What could I possibly say to Tony Blair? And actually, the conversation went in a direction that I knew a lot about. So I put up my hand, like schoolgirl style, to ask a question. And after that meeting, my mentor took me aside and said, "You said some brilliant things in that meeting, but I am so pissed off at you that you raised your hand that way, because would any of your male colleagues do that? No, none of them would do that. They would just say something if they had value. Never, ever do that again in your career." And I never did that again, and that would be just my biggest advice to women out there, is to own your expertise, own your success, and just know that you're probably gonna have to work twice as hard as the people around you, but it will be worth it in the end.